Around the same time Ifunanya returned, another child came home. Chibundu. He arrived with dust on his slippers and stale alcohol in his sweat. Nduka had sent him to a private polytechnic with borrowed money. But he'd been kicked out in his second year. Exam malpractice, the letter said. Bad attitude, the dean had warned. Chibundu didn't explain. He just dropped his bag beside the bench and asked what was for lunch. At first, Nduka made excuses. It's just a phase. Boys stumble. But that phase grew close. By the third week, Chibundu was seen behind the compound with a girl whose mother sold pepper. By the fourth, he was spotted at the palm wine joint, laughing too loud and asking for credit. By the sixth, he had stolen Uzomoko's money for school registration. He returned home with a bottle of beer and cigar in his mouth. You are useless. Chioma had shouted. You had everything. But Nduka only muttered, he's a boy. Let him be. At 25, Chibundu had no job, no plan, and 3 girls in the village pregnant. One brought her father. Another sent a letter. The third sat by the mango tree every evening, staring at his window, waiting for a promise he never made. Still, when people asked, Nduka would proudly say, that's my son, the one that will carry my name. But while Chibundu drank and smoked under the mango tree, the girls were building. Nkiru's tailoring picked up. She stopped patching old clothes and started sewing Sunday wear. Her hands moved like they remembered the future. She named the small shed she built Chimamanda Styles. Ifunanya returned with a hardness in her eyes but light in her fingers. She wrote all night, ink staining her hands, pain leaking into every sentence. She titled her manuscript, The Girl Who Was Sent Away. She sent it off with Oninya's help. 6 months later, it was accepted. 2 years later, it won a national prize. Odobi passed her teacher's exam and started teaching in the next village. She would walk 2 hours every morning and return dusty, but her eyes sparkled with joy. I teach girls to speak up. I tell them to take space. Uzomoko, quiet and steady, completed her nursing certification. She came home in a white uniform, her hair wrapped neatly. I'll open a clinic here, she said. For those who can't pay. And Onyinye, the one who won a STEM scholarship after a village school science fair. She built her project with broomsticks and wire. 4 years later, she boarded a plane to Canada for her master's degree. Now, she sent voice notes from abroad, filled with laughter and money transfers. Every alert came with a single line, for my sisters. Nneka, the firstborn, had once cooked while carrying her baby sisters on her back. Now she walked with a quiet strength. She finally got her admission to Nsukka after years of trying, and left with nothing but a Gonomosgo bag and her dreams stitched into the seams. She studied at night, worked part-time in a clinic during the day, and learned to deliver babies with steady hands. I helped life enter where I was once shut out, she told Chioma on the phone. It began with a cough. Dry. Persistent. The kind that rattled through Nduka's chest in the middle of the night and made Chioma sit up in bed. He waved it off. I just need ginger. Maybe garlic. But the cough grew roots. It began to drag his body down. His feet swelled. His breath shortened. His hands trembled when he tried to eat. One morning, he stood up to urinate and fell beside the basin. His wrapper was soaked in shame. He called out for Chibundu, but the boy had gone out with his friends, laughing, chasing another girl. Chioma rushed in, lifted him with hands that had carried too many burdens. Let me take you to the health center, she whispered. I will call the girls. No, Nduka rasped. Don't bother them. It's nothing. But the body does not wait for pride. By the third week, he could no longer walk. Chioma sent word to the daughters he had abandoned, insulted, minimized.